Hello, and welcome to Draw With Me. I am Danny Gregory, and each Thursday we get together and we spend an hour fooling around, drawing, making stuff. And as usual, I am joined by the ever-lovely JJ Gregory.
Hello!
It's nice to see you.
Happy Thursday.
Indeed. It is nice to see you. You look completely healed now.
Yes, my face has returned to form.
And quite a form it is too.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes, we have people from all over the world here today. From Kara, who is from a swamp in Alabama. Mumbled Roar from the Philippines. Elena from Basel in Switzerland. Irena from Holland. And Emma, who joins us often from Somerset, England.
I saw Peru. I think it's the first time I've seen Peru.
We're getting to there. Right now we're in Czech Republic with Jana.
Got it. Okay.
We've got Karen Washington from Louisiana. And we also have, strangely, we have Karen Louisiana from Washington. We have we have Mickey Malt from Finland. Yes, very nice. And Asa from Peru. Welcome. Veronica from Sweden. And Soleil from Australia, where it's 1:30 in the morning.
I know.
Wow.
And Jen from the Philippines, and Mumbler.
Mumbled Roar.
Yeah, the Philippines.
Representing.
It's already Friday.
They get up. Do they get up early, or do they stay up late?
I think they stay up late.
Possibly.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Oh, good. Yes, Jen says that it is May 10th, 2024. Mm-hmm. There, where she is. How is May? How? What can we expect
Tell
from
us
May
about
10th?
the future.
Yeah, what's it going to be like in the future? We're here back in the past on the 9th. So good. So what do we have to talk about today? We don't have.
Well, we had. Should we talk about today's topic? Are we ready to jump in there?
Yeah.
Because we had our usual. We went out for pizza last night, which was so fun, and we had our usual debate. We had our debate, and I prevailed. For once, I prevailed.
For once.
Yes, for once.
Regular viewers of the show will know that JJ always prevails. And so what we're going to do is we're going to draw a man with a beard. Now, this is a painting by our friend Vincent van Gogh, and it is of his postman in his town in, was it Rouen, I think?
Arles.
Yes, well, wherever it was in France, where he lived. And he painted his postman many, many times, and understandably, because he had a magnificent beard.
Who wouldn't want to revisit that topic over and over again?
So he had a beautiful beard, but after our pizza dinner tonight, we will not be drawing the guy with the beard. By the way, he's a character who appeared in my animated film, The Artist Who Couldn't Draw. There is a cameo by that guy. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw or paint, whatever you'd like to do.
We're going to get colorful.
Yes, we're going to draw something that Van Gogh painted 5 times, and this is the wife of that postman with the fantastic beard. And he painted her, I think her name is Madeline. Augustine. And he painted her 5 times. And in fact, I read an article, which I put a link to in the notes below, about these paintings, because one of the things they figured out was that Van Gogh used tracing a lot. I'd never known that before, tracing. So these pictures are actually tracings, one of the other. And he loved this scene, and he didn't paint it from life. He did, I think this is the best version that he did here. What do you think?
I don't think there's a best. I think
we'll have a look at this one.
Okay.
I think it's pretty good. Yes. So imagine, if you will, I think he liked this picture because he saw it as like a thing about motherhood. So this couple had a young baby, and this painting, as you'll see if we go to the one that I've picked, which is this one, you can see that she's holding a string in her hand, and that hand is connected to a cradle. And so she was pulling the string and rocking the cradle of their newly born baby and singing a lullaby maybe to her, or to the baby. I'm not sure if it was a her or a him. But yeah, so this is what we're going to draw today.
I mean, beautiful colors.
I think the colors are great, yeah. And I think I like a lot of things about this. I think it's not incredibly challenging, but it does combine a portrait and flowers and the beautiful wallpaper behind her. And of course, furniture for those who like to paint chairs.
The hands, I think, are going to maybe be
you
point of interest.
You think that, yes, the hands are really nice.
A stop along the journey.
This is my favorite version of the ones that he did. And let me make it even a little bit bigger so that, and I think I love these heavy outlines that you see around her, like particularly her blouse.
It's interesting because Jen just made a comment that it's going to line up exactly with what you're about to say. She said it looks influenced by Japanese woodblock prints.
Exactly. Well, and Van Gogh loved wood block prints. And so let's just think about it. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do this.
I think I asked you last night and I don't remember your answer. Were you going to use gouache?
You asked me if I was going to use gouache, and I think gouache is just a little bit tough on Draw With Me because there isn't really the time for it to dry properly.
Right.
So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw it. Maybe I'll come in and do some watercolor. It's got to have color, I think. Right?
Yeah.
It's got to have color.
It's got to have color.
So I'm going to start by just drawing the frame, basically. I think the frame is... It's basic. It's a little bit longer than it is tall.
It is just the one drawing today, right?
Just one. We're just going to do one today.
We're going to spend the whole session.
I felt like just spending some time on one thing, kind of.
Yeah, that would because
I think it's nice. We've done
a
lot of things.
Collections.
Yeah, we've done a bunch of collections, and this is an opportunity to spend some time. And
I mean, you could spend a long time just on the wallpaper.
It's true. Van Gogh did it 5 times. So if you wanted to draw it 5 times, feel free to do it 5 times. But yeah, we didn't even mention how nice that Harry Potter stuff was.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I
was really nice Harry Potter.
It was delightful. It was delightful.
So I'm just doing a couple of measurements, and one thing I'm noticing is just where this kind of where the wallpaper begins. And if you notice that Van Gogh has it lower on one side than on the other. So
that's interesting.
He didn't even really get it square. So I'm not going to obsess about it. I just want to make sure that I get her head to be kind of the right size. Just because her head is comparatively small. I mean, you think of this as a portrait of her, but her face is kind of like this size. It's basically like that. So it's not huge. And yeah, I mean, as Jen said, it's got this heavy outline in certain parts of it, not in all of it. And Van Gogh, and he also was influenced by Gauguin, who's very into these wood cuts as well, heavy outlines, cartoon almost looking thing to them. In fact, Gauguin, when he was hanging out with Vincent, he also did a couple paintings of the same woman and of her husband, I think. And
I mean, he didn't have so very many models, right?
Well, Gauguin might have. I mean, Gauguin went to the South Pacific and had a lot of models there, but certainly there were not a lot of. There were probably no professional models in this little town that he was living in toward the end of his life, in Arles. And so he made do, and I guess he was pretty friendly with this postmaster and his wife, and so they gave him permission to draw them on a regular basis. Yes.
I mean, she's just sitting there rocking the carriage, so you know.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. Little did she know that this part of her life would be there forever. What happened? Huh? Sorry about that.
It's over.
Sorry, it was a short show today. So, yeah.
Grace Afridi is asking, did I understand that Van Gogh traced the original all those times to be able to change colors and backgrounds?
I think he
Is
just,
that how you
yeah, he
understand
just,
it?
yeah, he never saw this as particularly a portrait. He really thought that this was,
Like a study?
no, it's about the emotion of motherhood, and he wanted to get this kind of cozy, sweet scene. So I think that's why it was tough for him to kind of nail the emotion in it.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at the various features, the various portraits of her actual face. She generally doesn't look that maternal, honestly. She looks
a bit stern.
She looks a bit sour.
She looks a bit bored.
Yeah.
I mean, let's call it like it is. She probably is
she
bored.
probably bored. Yeah. So, yeah, so I think he did, I think he did spend most of his time on things like the wallpaper and the colors. He did one version where her dress was kind of black. And so, yeah, so I think the tracing was just like, look, I've already figured out how to draw this. I'm not going to agonize over that part of it again. And I'm going to spend my time instead on the color and the forms and stuff like that.
I mean, as always, the texture of the hair is incredible.
Yeah, the hair and the face are very Van Gogh looking, aren't they? But all these heavy lines are. I think the whole thing is unmistakably Van Gogh, right? Her prodigious bosom.
A heavy bosom.
Heavy bosom, yeah. But I think that's part of his like maternal thing, because I seem to remember that Gauguin's painting is more flattering, and she doesn't look quite so matronly. I mean, she's probably a quite young woman. She just had a little baby. But yeah, very, very orange hair. The question is, did she really have that orange hair? I seem to think in some of the other ones, she has kind of more brownish, blondish hair.
Well, it's just the orange is so nice with that green.
Yeah.
Maybe a little artistic license there.
Exactly. And of course, Van Gogh was a redhead. So I don't know if that's the reason, but. I'm drawing with a really fat pen, which is, I'm struggling a little bit to get these eyes correct. Maybe I should switch to something lower gauge. I wrote an essay this week about mistakes and making mistakes. And I was trying to think about, like, why do I make mistakes? Well, like, what does it really mean? What does it really mean to make a mistake, Like, and I think a lot of the time it's like you just, if you've drawn a lot, you should feel like, why am I still making mistakes? And I think part of it is, just not really taking the time to think things through. Not really, really deliberating before you do it.
But is it even possible to not make mistakes? I would say it's not.
You're mistaken. I mean, I think it is. I don't know. I mean, I think if you slow down and really are careful, you'll make fewer mistakes, right? I think.
I mean, I think you started off with the mistake because you made the head a lot smaller than I would have thought you would get, and you were so focused on making the head the right size, and then you kind of made a little pinhead.
Well, yes and no. I think my head is actually not wrong. I mean, I think it's not wrong.
No?
I think it's oh my God, again? Clearly my computer thinks that it's wrong. Oh, I know. I have a countdown from when we did this before.
Oh.
Yeah. Right, that's gone. Yeah, I mean, I think her head is...
Stuart's defending you. He said the head is pretty accurate.
Yeah, I think it's pretty accurate, too. I mean, if you look at it in the photo lined up with the drawing, I think the bottom of my frame is a bit small, like that, but...
I don't know. See, I see the head as being almost double the size of what you did.
You might be right. But I'm doing it more accurately than Van Gogh did it. I'm doing it the correct way. I don't know what the hell he was up to.
Well, we all know he was drinking.
He was drinking, and it's too early in the morning for me to be drinking, so... He was drinking absinthe, too. You know? Maybe we should do a draw with me where we drink absinthe and see how that goes.
I do not care for the taste of black licorice.
Well, absinthe isn't black licorice, is
It
it?
has a licoricey. It's the same
You're talking
thing.
about anisette. You're talking about Pernod.
Oh, you're right.
I'm talking about
Absinthe?
absinthe, which is like kind of illegal.
No, I think it's back in the good.
I think in the United States it's illegal, my friend.
No, I don't.
Yeah, it is.
No,
Check it out.
I think you're wrong.
Google it.
I think you're wrong. Is I don't even know how to spell it.
ABSINTHE.
Is absinthe legal in the U.S.? Yes, it is legal.
However,
Most countries lifted their absinthe bans by the early 2000s.
Oh, okay. So that's a recent development. See, I think my proportions are more flattering to her. I think he drew it. She looks a little like a little person.
Ooh.
Uh-oh. You know what that was.
Yeah.
So periodically we hear these bangs in our house. It's not a ghost. It's a bird.
Yeah, we have a fruiting mulberry tree. Speaking of drunk, and this is the time of year when the birds overindulge, shall we say.
They eat all these mulberries and they get drunk.
And then they fly into our windows. It's terrible.
Yeah.
We've talked about it on this show before because sometimes it happens.
They don't usually die.
Yeah, they typically recover. You know, they say if you wipe out while you're quite drunk, you tend to get less injured because you're
true.
looser, right?
That's true.
I think that's what's happening. But yes, it's about a month long. This tree fruits, and you know the side effects of this are not terribly pleasing.
Don't drink and fly.
Don't drink and fly, and there's a cleanup involved.
Yeah, well, when they occasionally they do have a fatal accident. It's very sad. So this is quite some wallpaper they had over there at the Roulin household.
I would like to have that wallpaper.
I bet you can buy it. I mean, look at that photo that I had before of that woman. She had it in her background. They do have these, like they have recreations of Van Gogh's bedroom. In fact, I think that there's a hotel where you can stay in Van Gogh, in a recreation of Van Gogh's little room, yellow room.
Would it be terribly luxurious?
No, it's a little tiny.
It's like a little less than a twin-size bed.
Yeah. I don't know that you'd want to stay there, but you could. After you've done all your selfies, you might want to check into another hotel room to sleep. Did I get this part wrong? It's got that there, and then it's got this thing, this tendril over here.
I mean, that background is a lot to keep track of. At some point, you're going to take some creative license. I think that'll be okay. Although you're making very good time.
Oh, thanks. But I'm probably going to do some color.
Yeah, I would hope so.
So, this would make a good jigsaw puzzle. I'm sure it is a jigsaw puzzle. You know, I have, you gifted me actually a Starry Night recreation in Lego, which I spent ages on, and then I finally gave up.
It got to a point where we needed to reclaim our table.
I mean, Van Gogh probably painted that in like a couple days, and it took me like months to figure it out in Lego. But maybe if Van Gogh had done it in Lego, it would have taken longer. I mean, isn't Lego, no, it's Danish. I was going to say, isn't it Dutch?
I thought that would be a project that you would enjoy more.
I did enjoy it. It was a bit frustrating. I mean, I enjoyed it because it had I really like following directions to make stuff, like, like building IKEA furniture or something. I like that.
Well, we had gotten the kids a Lego, like a camper van. Remember, it was like a little VW bus.
Yeah, because they have a
because they are van life. Yep,
they're van lifers.
And I mean, it was, I think, an all-star gift. They were quite pleased with it.
I really loved it.
So sometimes you have a big success like that, you should quit after one.
I don't think you were wrong in doing it. I think it just took up too long to do it. All right, so this isn't too bad. It's proportions are a little weird, but
a few people have commented that you made her more beautiful.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's more flattering. I think her proportions, like the original, she just looks like she has no neck. And yeah, I made her look a bit more like a young mother, not like a sour old postman's wife. So there, Van Gogh. That's how you do it. That's how you should have done it. Maybe you would have sold it if you'd done it properly.
Zing!
I like to rib Vincent, but he's a heck of a guy. All right, so I think I'm going to do some heavier outlining now around the heavier parts.
What are you going to use? A brush pen?
No, I'm just going up to an 08. So.
Yeah, I do feel like the black lines in her bodice are really a protagonist in the chair.
Protagonist?
Well, when I look at this, that's one of the first things I see.
Yeah. The thing about Van Gogh is he really drew as much as he painted, Like there are people who say that painting, like you really shouldn't have lines in it, that's not really representative of reality, because reality, of course, doesn't have lines around it. And Van Gogh, he loved drawing. I think that's a lot of what he was doing. Coloring drawings. I hope that's not a controversial statement. You see here in the armrest that his signature is in the armrest. It's kind of cool.
Really? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have noticed that.
Yeah.
There's no way you can zoom in on that, is there? Is this painting in the Met?
Yes.
This version is in the Met, right?
Correct. See that?
That is so cool.
Right there, Vincent.
Oh, I like being able to see the lines in her face a bit more.
I know.
I mean, look at how the paint, it's just gorgeous.
Yeah. I would say go out and get this. Go out and download your own version of this so you can really zoom in on it, because it is called La Berceuse, Berceuse, or Woman Rocking a Cradle. And as I said, there are 5 of them. I think this is my favorite, and it is at the Metropolitan Museum in New York City.
Is that the correct pronunciation?
Berceuse.
Berceuse? Wouldn't it be Berceuse?
Je ne sais pas.
Do we have anyone from France?
Yeah, French people don't come to draw with me.
That's not true.
Dessiner avec moi. So I've been thinking about learning Spanish. I think that might be my summer project.
We always try to do summer school, like do some kind of project.
Right.
Caroline said you were correct. That was correct.
I know. I know I was. I was just humoring my wife.
Oh.
By pretending that I wasn't correct. La Berceuse. But yeah, so Spanish. You think you want to do it with me?
I've tried to learn. I'm embarrassed to say I've tried to learn Spanish 4 or 5 times over the years, and I've been unsuccessful.
I mean,
it's really, I mean, incorrect considering we live in Arizona.
We basically live in what was Mexico.
Yeah.
So, and we certainly encounter a lot of people who speak Spanish.
I know it's not.
Imagine how cool it would be if well, at least if I speak Spanish, I can explain stuff for you. I can translate for you. But I don't know. I think to me it feels like a really practical language to learn.
Yeah.
French, not so much. The problem with French is if you go to France and you try to speak French, they'll just speak to you in English.
Yeah, they'll roll their eyes at you.
Oh la la.
Psh. We're not going to make fun of French people.
Let's not make fun of French people, even though there are none in the audience.
Look, French people, it's sort of a notorious thing, you know. They prefer other French people.
But you know what? There was an article that I was reading in the paper yesterday that was about how, because the French are hosting the Olympics, they have to be nicer. Seriously, they're like, and so they've done all this. They're doing all this stuff where they explain to French people, you know what? People in other countries are not unpleasant to people who are visiting. In fact, we want people to visit. So, yeah. All right, so I'm hitting it up.
Going in?
Going in.
Going bold?
Going Technicolor. With watercolors. Would have been nice to do it in gouache, I agree.
I mean, sometimes you just feel like gouache.
Sometimes you feel like a gouache. Sometimes you don't. So his colors are very flat, which makes you think of gouache, right? They're certainly not watercolor-like. I don't know if Van Gogh did much in the way of watercolor. He went right to oil because he wanted to sell his paintings.
Oh, let's Google this.
I don't know that he ever did watercolors. He might have, but it's definitely. Look at how nice the inside of her sleeves are teal.
He made nearly 150 watercolor
paintings. As I said, he was very well known for his watercolors.
He often made them as studies for an oil painting. So you were right.
As I said, he was very well known as a watercolorist. So what about her facial color? I don't know if I want to make her this green. I'm going to make her sort of tan. She's a country woman, so she probably was.
I mean, her face and her hands are very different shade.
Good point. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, but her face is definitely this kind of yellowish ochre color, I would say. And what you can see of her neck. There's all this texture to her face, which would be nice to get in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I can do that, though. It's very small.
Probably not in the time that you have.
I could do with colored pencil.
Oh, I was going to say that.
Yeah, I could go with...
I thought you would
No, colored pencil
be
would be
annoyed
good.
by that
No,
suggestion.
No, I think that would be good. Because it's, again, lines. Lines.
Right.
So much of what he was interested in. Now that hand color...
I mean, that hand color, if you zoomed in, it's very mottled and there's a lot of blue.
Yeah. I'm just going to make it different, but I'm probably not going to match what he did. I mean, I'm not trying to forge a Van Gogh.
Well, he probably didn't do this in 1 hour. Let's be honest.
He didn't do it while streaming live. Van Gogh was not, he just refused to be an influencer. He would not do live streaming. Now, what about this dress color, the skirt? That is a really good color, but I don't know how I'm going to get that.
It's like a Kelly green.
It's really bright. Yeah. I feel like with the colors I have, what do you think? Maybe in here somewhere? Maybe. It's very blue. Yeah. I don't want to overmix it because it's going to lose its energy, but and on camera it looks even different. So
yeah, that's always a wrinkle, right? The camera is what you see and what everyone else sees is different depending on what their monitor is calibrated to do.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think the point of this, again, we're not trying to make a forgery. We're just trying to suggest that her skirt is a different shade than her top. Leave it at that. Although I must say that skirt makes this painting. Don't you think it's a really good color?
It's gorgeous. Many are suggesting Viridian green.
Yeah, I don't have every watercolor here. Or maybe this is Viridian. Yeah, it is. Maybe this is better. That's more Viridian there.
What are you doing, Twigs?
It's a bit better. So,
I mean, there's definite blue texture in that skirt. I like what you just did with those brush strokes to get that texture in there. That is very winning.
thank you. Now, what the hell am I going to do with the background?
Go crazy.
Because it's actually, if you look at this background up close, it is dark green with blue. It's almost like peacock feathers with the orange dot. It's insane.
You need gouache.
There's just no way I'm doing that.
You know it would be a fun little detail. I don't
me.
think you're going to be willing to do it.
Tell me.
But the little rope, the tie that she has,
Yeah.
magic pencil.
Magic pencil. It does look kind of like magic pencil.
Yeah.
I don't have my magic pencil handy, though.
But it's right there.
Where?
It's in that cup dish right behind you.
Oh, up there?
Yeah. I'm tethered. I can't get up.
I would have to break the fourth wall to do that.
Do it! Do it! Come on, it'd be so cool.
Oh, brother. All right.
There you go.
Question is, which magic pencil? Because I have 4 of them.
There's one that has more orange.
Yeah, I think it's this
I
one.
mean, there's one that the outside of the pencil, it almost exactly matches. That's kind of crazy, right?
Yeah.
I love a magic pencil.
I think it's possible that he used a magic pencil. a little known thing, but we could be breaking new ground. We could write a paper about it. Van Gogh's magic pencil.
I mean, the magic pencil is something you could use on some of these flowers.
Do you get kickbacks from the magic pencil people?
I love those magic pencils. It's true, I really do. I use them a lot more than you do.
I don't believe in magic.
Do you believe in magic? Ooh. That was not a good version of that song.
No, not at all. Do you believe in magic? Yeah. Who is it? Is that like a Neil Sedaka song?
Don't know.
Now what's the back? Oh, red. Oh, yes, I totally didn't see that red. Really nice red.
You see, you can see the chair through under her arm.
Yes, there's a bit of red in there.
And it's not the red, it's the chair. And the chair back.
Oh, shoot, you're right. I just painted it red. Oh, well.
Yeah, there's another piece of the chair that's still missing, so.
Where's that?
By her
top?
shoulder.
Shoulder.
Yep, coming
Oh,
out.
God.
Yep.
Oh, my God, I totally didn't. Oh, yes, of course. Okay, I did draw it. I thought I neglected to draw it even. All right, so that's this. What am I going to do about this wallpaper, though?
Magic pencil.
I can't draw that thing in magic pencil. It's nuts. Nuts, I tell you. What about in here? Is that red? Yes. What if I use watercolor in the way that God intended it to be used? All right, I'm not ready to go there yet, but I might have an idea. First, I need to deal with her hair. See how it's green under her hair? That's interesting. I don't know if you can see that on the screen, but
Can you zoom it? Too hard.
it looks like he painted her in shades of green first. Maybe he did. Let that dry and then I'll deal with it. See, what I'm thinking is...
That's tough. It's tough with liquid.
Right. I might regret this. In fact, I'm almost certain I will. But you know what they say.
Do you need paper towel?
No, I need more skill with watercolor.
Watercolor under pressure is a very bad combination.
Yeah. Maybe I'll just go blue. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to mix some sort of a color that could maybe cover the whole background. It's kind of an ugly color though. You know, and then come back over it.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was probably... Don't do what I'm doing. Remember I was saying before about making mistakes? This is a different way of making a mistake, which is...
It was almost like an intentional mistake.
Well, there are mistakes you
It was
make...
a predictable mistake.
Yeah, there are mistakes you make when you rush and you just didn't get quite what you wanted. Then there are mistakes where you're like, I have no idea what I'm doing, but let's see what happens. And that's kind of where I'm at now. So, we'll see. You know, regular viewers of the show know that I almost always make the most insanely brilliant art by the time it's over. It just may take a little longer than
Yeah, really. Right after we turn the camera off, the whole thing improves.
That's because I go back to my tracing. Yeah, something might happen here. Something might happen. Or not. We'll see. If anybody has a suggestion or they're doing something interesting, let me know.
I think they're all holding their breath for you.
No kidding. You know,
Yeah.
something will happen.
You gotta go where the wind blows you.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm in a
Oh, Denise!
gale right now.
Denise has officially won this contest because she's doing it in Procreate.
Yeah,
That is a good choice.
I would do it in Procreate, and I used to do it in do stuff like this in Procreate, but people complain so much about it that it wasn't worth it. All right, let's let this sit for a second. This is going to get better.
Kay is using oil pastels.
Snazzy.
Can you imagine what a mess you would make trying to do that on camera?
I have some pastels somewhere. I think if you were doing it big, I mean, this is pretty small. This is the size of my hand, this whole drawing. You know. All right, it might be time. Look at that. That's how you do it. See if this makes it any better. I mean, I do think I want to keep this, with having lots of stuff going on in the background.
Yeah.
That feels right.
Laura had the same problem you had, which her gouache got moldy. How did you fix that?
Oh, yes. Okay, so here's how you deal with that. Probably what you did is, or at least the reason mine got moldy, was because I put like a wet paper towel on it to keep it moist. And somehow that was a disaster. Then I also tried spraying on it, because I'd read about that you like have a little spray bottle and you spray on it. That also, I think, contributed to it. So the solution was to throw the whole damn thing in the trash and buy a new set. They're not that expensive. I mean, it's like
$40.
Not even. I think it's like $25, and you get, it's basically $1 per color. So it's about the cheapest paint you can buy. These gel gouaches, and then what I've done ever since with this new set is I've just been careful to close it and cover it.
Well, and use it more often.
Use it more often.
That's what I thought that was going to be the answer, because really,
well, mold doesn't come from misuse. Because what you want to do is you want to avoid it drying up, and so mine was drying up, and so I thought I could do that, but then I figured out, you know what, just look after it properly and use it on a regular basis, as JJ's saying, and then it will stay basically like it came out of the box. Look after your stuff, people, or you can't have nice things.
Janice McCarty is here cheering you on.
Janice.
She admires your courage. I think Janice was where you originally learned about these gouaches, these himmies, isn't it? Didn't she bring that?
I'll tell you actually how I learned it. I learned it because we were teaching a workshop with August Wren, and somebody wrote to me and said, "Is it all right to use gel gouaches?" And I was like, "What? No. What are those? No, absolutely not." And
Was
then,
the answer was no before you even knew what they were?
And then I think it was the frugal crafter,
Lindsay.
Lindsay, she was the one who told me about doing it. And, she was like, you got to try these. They're actually really good. So I thought, okay, well, I scoffed, and I shouldn't have.
I have such a memory of it being Janice who told you.
Ask Janice. Janice, did you? I don't think Janice uses gel gouache.
I feel like Janice.
Janice, do you?
You're
out there, Janice. Tell us.
She's gonna have that in her toolkit for certain. Oh, and she says she stores hers in a 2-gallon Ziploc.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. So you just slide the whole thing into a big Ziploc. Yeah. I bet you Van Gogh would use gel gouache. I mean, when I use the Winsor Newton designer gouache, sometimes I'm always it's like going from a hamburger to a filet mignon. It definitely makes a big difference having a good one. But for most of what I do, this has been fine. And the reason that I don't use the Winsor Newton all the time, besides that it's expensive, is it's just a bit more of a hassle to sort of set the whole thing up, Set the whole thing up, and, then basically once it's dry in your palette, you can't reuse it. So, or at least I can't reuse it. So...
A few people have commented on the potential of using an acrylic marker on this background.
Yes, that's a very good idea.
I do think that would
be nice.
Pop right off the page. Someone mentioned that you wore appropriate couture. Your shirt is sort of in the vibe.
Of course. Right, so I want to make sure she has her beautiful green eyes.
I mean, her eyes maybe you need a marker for, because they are, again, I would say a protagonist of this painting.
They are. I sometimes find, though, that bringing markers in with watercolor can be... They don't necessarily live together that well always.
Why?
I don't know. I think it's because they are something more organic to me about markers, about watercolors. Markers can just be a bit too much. See, colored pencils really can help save the day, too.
True.
I'm just putting a little bit of texture in there so that her face doesn't look like a flat piece of watercolor.
Maybe you should put the magic pencil over her face.
Would you stop? I'll put a magic pencil over your face.
Yeah,
the magic pencil is just it's too out of control for me. I'm a control
freak. That's what I like about it. It's surprising. It's like, oh, I meant to do that.
Here, I'm going to do it. What should I do?
Yes, do it. Do it. Do it on her hands.
Okay. No. No.
I think it actually does mirror the reference, the actual painting. I think it is. I think it's the right. I think it's a choice. A
bad choice.
I don't think it was a bad choice.
Okay.
Do you have any Poscas hanging out over there?
Oh, brother. How about some spray paint?
Let's not do spray paint. That's the modern day equivalent of arsenic, right?
Yeah, huffing some spray paint. This whole thing could have been maybe a colored pencil thing from the beginning. Could have been a way of doing this.
Yeah. Well, you could do another one.
Yeah. I mean, I'll do 5, just like Van Gogh.
Exactly.
Would you pose for me?
I would definitely have that bored look on my face that she has.
That's true.
If I were to do so. Are you using regular watercolor pencils or regular
I'm using
color pencils?
Derwent ChromaFlow.
That's not a watercolor pencil.
No. It just happened to be the one that was handy. I didn't really think about it that much. See, I'm starting to give her a textured bosom, which I want to avoid.
She has texture on her left side or her right side.
It does?
Yeah.
A little bit.
It's very vertical.
Inside the dark green, you mean?
Yeah. You've kind of made it horizontal, but it's vertical.
Yeah, I guess it is.
I like that color.
Yeah, it is nice. I don't know, I'm quite pleased with this. I've noticed that you haven't agreed with me, but that's fine.
No, I think it's marvelous. I'm not being facetious. I think
I get nervous when you say things like that.
praise?
Marvelous.
Marvelous. It's marvelous.
Yes.
You look marvelous. What was that character?
I think it was your friend Martin Short.
Oh yeah, your favorite. Darling, you look marvelous.
It was, yeah, he played that kind of character that was like a PR person when he was on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, it was around the time of the Church Lady, which was his other.
That was not him. That was Dana Carvey.
Oh, Dana Carvey did the Church Lady. That's true. Oh, Billy Crystal. Billy Crystal, of course.
Oh, yes, it was Billy Crystal, right. I knew it couldn't be. Martin Short wasn't capable of that.
Danny has some weird beef with Martin Short. I don't understand it.
He's short. I'm just short with him. That's all. So, yeah, I think this is pretty good.
Don't be effusive now.
I mean, when I put it up next to his, my colors aren't bad.
I think it's marvelous. I do. I think it's wonderful. I think it's
All right, don't be too effusive now.
No, you
Nailed it.
accomplished a lot in 1 hour's time.
That's true. I can't wait to see what everybody else has done. I think it's nice. Tell me what you guys think, but I think it's nice to sometimes, do collections of things, where we draw things in 2 or 3 minutes and we draw a whole bunch of them. And I think it's nice sometimes to spend
some time,
spend some
quality time.
Some quality time getting it right. Or getting deep. Or making new discoveries.
So it is Mother's Day on Sunday.
Well, that's why I meant to explain that was the reason that I thought of doing this.
Right. So, it's a complicated day for many, but for all who celebrate, happy Mother's Day. And for all who don't, hugs.
It's true. It is. It's a nice holiday. It's a minor holiday compared to Father's Day, of course, which is coming up and far more important. But
my mom, who we talk about on the show often, Margie, she is 92 going on 93. So we're just glad to have her around for Mother's Day.
she's been a mother for a long time.
She's been a mother for an awful long time.
How many Mother's Days has she had? 70 probably. right?
I think she had my brother when she was 24.
So how old would your brother be now?
I think he would be
68?
No,
67.
He would be 69.
69? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, 69. So that's almost 70 years she's had Mother's Day. That's enough. She gets it by now.
I'm a stepmother. It's
But you're not an evil one.
I mean, I think that's all relative, right?
You're not evil
Subjective.
on any level.
No, I'm not evil. But, being a step parent is an ish. I think having a step parent is an ish. I think, you think about young Jack T. Gregory and his mother died when he was 15. That's an ish. I think some people have difficult, challenging, complicated relationships with their mothers. That's an ish. That's complex.
It's true. Families. Can't live with them. Can't live without them. So, speaking of which, by the way, we're nearing your illustrated life. Speaking of families.
Uh-oh.
And that's going to be part of it.
Twiglet? No advertising.
She's heralding the
She's
leaf
like, could you
blowers.
guys finish up this thing so we can play?
No, she was heralding the leaf blowers.
All you do is sit in the computer making these videos for this course. She's quite bored of it.
Yes. Okay. I think this is good. I'm done.
And you know what? You landed the plane at exactly the right time.
I'm a pro.
Yeah, we're done. The leaf blowers are pulled up. Twiglet's barking. We've talked about motherhood in all its shades.
You nailed it.
And we'll talk about your illustrated life a little bit more next week.
Yeah, we will. Good. Well, let's wrap it up. Okay, so I'd love to see your berceuse, your cradle rockers. So please share them on Instagram or Facebook and tag them #SBS, that stands for Sketchbook School, SBS Draw With Me. And we'll find them and we'll have a cavalcade of moms next week. Also, Danny'sEssays.com. I have an essay tomorrow, which is...
Is that the one about mistakes?
No, that was the one on Tuesday. That was the Studio Notebook. No, the new one is about... it's about writing too much. Yes, it's about writing too much. And it's about like editing and that kind of thing. Yes, you put that article down there? Okay, good. That's nice. Thank you. Let me just add it to the...
It's in the description. I'm not sure if the ... dot means that it's been truncated.
No, it should work. I'll double check it, but there it is again. Just look for it. It was too fast on screen, but just look for it below.
Yeah.
Your illustrated life.
It's interesting. It's a very interesting article.
Yeah, your illustrated life is...
it's happening.
It's happening.
You're sort of out of time. Let's talk about it next week.
Yeah,
if you want to know more about your illustrated life,
go to sketchbookschool.com.
Yeah.
And subscribe to this channel. And if you do subscribe and click the bell, then we'll let you know when we are going to be meeting again. But if you don't do that, show up here again on Thursday at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
We'll be here, 9 a.m. Pacific.
Same time, same place.
And we'll see you then. Whew. Thanks very much for being here. Thanks for drawing with me.
Have a great week.
And we'll see you next week. Thanks again. Bye-bye.